Tonight, find out who's the new SGA president.
Plus, who was crowned Miss Venus 2013. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for February 21st, 2013. I'm Christina Cook.
And I'm Deatra Montgomery. Thanks for joining us this evening. Well, the votes are in and the students have decided who will be the Student Government Association officers for next year. Let's take a look at who will serve as officers. Cody Farrell will be Troy's next SGA president. The next vice president for legislative affairs will be Paul Evans. Trip Hubbard is the new vice president for campus activities. The new secretary will be Courtney Rushing. And there will be a runoff between Faith Moth and Jake Tabadou for clerk. SGA president-elect Cody Farrell says he is excited to get to work for Troy's students.
Well, I think it definitely increases my passion for the position to know that students are behind me and ready for us to get to work and work with our Board of Trustees to make this student body. I'm really excited to be here at Troy. It gets me excited that students are behind me, definitely.
The new officers will be sworn in April. The runoff for clerk will take place next Wednesday in the SGA office from 8 to 5. We will hear more from the president-elect later in the show during Trojan Talk.
And while candidates were vying for SGA offices yesterday, another group of Troy students was competing for another important university position, the title of Miss Venus. 14 women competed in a Troy University tradition aging back to the 1970s. The Miss Venus pageant held Wednesday night continued this tradition after crowning this year's Miss Venus 2013.
It's like a funded scholarship. Each contestant got a scholarship for a book. It's based on like the goddess of beauty and love. It's just a scholarship that pretty much prepares just as a fundraiser. Boys, beauty, and their dress is judged on it also. It's just an evening gown walk, so nothing too hard. That's my kind of pageant.
And despite some technical difficulties, the contestants still remain poised and elegant in hopes of winning the title of Miss Venus and wearing the crown.
The judges couldn't see the girls' faces. It was so dark on stage, so I ran up, and luckily Clifton was upstairs, and I said, can you give us anything else? And he said, all I can give you is house lights. So he gave us the house lights, and we finally resorted to moving the judges.
Well, it kind of started off bumpy, but it ended up being a great event. It was amazing, and I had a great time.
And after a long night of preparation and presentation, it seemed Miss Hannah McDonald was able to impress the judges and be crowned Miss Venus 2013. And starting next month, she will jump right into the many duties of her title.
I'll be in parades, and I'll get to go to dinners and just different things like that around Troy. I'll actually get to be in the spring preview day parade and the Christmas parade and different things like that. I get a $150 book scholarship, so I'm really excited about that. I'm just really excited to be Miss Venus.
McDonald's first official appearance as Miss Venus will be at the St. Patrick's Day Parade during the spring reunion on March 23rd.
Troy University's English department holds a number of forums through the year to highlight certain topics in the world of English language. Terry Yu gives us a look at their latest offering.
Wednesday afternoon, the English department held a lecture about the criminology and the democracy in Africa.
I decided to throw out a few ideas about criminology and democracy in Africa from a literary perspective, how writers have seemingly dealt with this concept of democracy and crime. This is a university environment, it's an academic environment, and the health of a university absolutely depends on academic exercises of this nature.
What did the students can learn and get a benefit from the lecture?
For the first time, I considered whether or not Western-style democracy would work in Africa, and if that isn't the solution for Africa, how they might adapt.
I think every student could benefit if they came here. It's good. Every little thing that's like this that we do is very good. It broadens people's horizons, opens their box. They get some more creative thinking for it. Every student can benefit from that.
What does one English professor want Troy students to learn about the lecture?
I think it's a good idea for students to come to these things because it gives students sort of an alternative viewpoint of they may not necessarily know somebody who's from Africa or who's been there, and so it's important, I think, to get a sort of first-hand perspective. Probably the greatest benefit is just learning about other cultures.
Troy, TrojanVision News.
Yesterday's forum was the 27th in the department series of discussions related to English language and literature. Well, Christina, many organizations on campus promote activities for Black History Month.
You know what? That's right, Deatra. And last night, students had a chance to come together to celebrate this holiday even more. Jamarla Phillips has the details.
Wednesday night, Troy University's African American Alliance held an event in honor of Black History Month. The Night of Color reflected back to monumental icons that have impacted lives in an exceptional way.
I am president of the African American Alliance, and tonight was our Night of Color. It's an annual event we put on to celebrate Black history, celebrating our past and our present from where we've come from to where we're going.
Some students say they really enjoyed the event and were able to gain information they were not aware of.
I had fun. This is my organization, and we just basically did the African dance. We did a collaboration of all the different dances from Africa, trying to represent as many countries as we could.
Tonight at Night of Color, we learned everything from things that happened in 1963 in the past and what really shaped our culture today. A lot of interesting events and facts. A lot of things I didn't know.
And what better way to end an event than with a great speaker?
I have a passion for civil rights. I believe strongly in the civil rights movement. I witnessed it, I grew up in it, and I believe in it, and I wanted to be here to share my story tonight.
Jamarla Phillips, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And the last Black History Month activity scheduled for the university will be the annual Black History Month Step Show on March 1st.
Pike County residents have the chance to enjoy a meal in a handcrafted bowl, all while helping out the hungry in the area. The Pike County Salvation Army is holding their annual Empty Bowls luncheon tomorrow starting at 11 a.m. at Bush Memorial Baptist Church. The guests will get the chance to enjoy a variety of soup options and specially handmade crafted bowls they keep with the price of their $20 ticket. The money raised will go towards funding the Salvation Army's food bank.
This money will help us keep our food bank stocked with the things that we need when we need it to give out, because we give out food every day to families, to single senior citizens, to homeless people. So there's a big need here for people that don't have enough to eat.
Once again, the Empty Bowls luncheon will be tomorrow from 11 to 1 at Bush Memorial Baptist Church on George Wallace Drive. Tickets are $20.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Wetumpka, sentencing for a woman charged with lying about her son having cancer to raise money has been delayed until April. Jones pleaded guilty in October. Authorities say the efforts raised more than $7,500, and Jones used some of it for a trip to Walt Disney World.
In Decatur, police say 2 women have been arrested after leading police on a chase that ended with a crash. Reports say officers tried to stop the car, but the driver sped away. The woman in the car, identified as Crystal Hitt and Shauna Gail Howard, were arrested after the short chase. Neither woman was injured.
And in Montgomery, the state has approved legislation to allow posthumous pardons for the Scottsboro boys. The Senate voted 29-0 Thursday for the legislation sponsored by Republican Senator Arthur Orr for Decatur. The bill now goes to the House for what Orr predicts will be a similar vote.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the women's basketball team was in action last night, hoping to make 2 wins in a row. Justin McNally will let you know if they did coming up in sports.
But first, 3 people are dead in Las Vegas after a shooting and multi-car accident. We'll have that and more when we return.
Murders on Las Vegas Boulevard, and police are still looking for the suspect. I'm Edward Lawrence in Las Vegas. That story coming up.
Domestic violence can occur anywhere, including neighborhoods like this. Yet fleeing an abusive home isn't easy, and it's even harder if victims have to leave their pets behind. American Humane knows that keeping people and their pets together is important, especially in times of crisis. That's why the Pets and Women's Shelters Program, or PAWS, is helping shelters open their doors to women, children, and their beloved pets. I urge you to contact American Humane so abused women and children can have a safer and better life. Right, Thumbelina?
Troy has given to me so much more than I ever anticipated, and it creates that desire to keep doing something better. There's a perfect opportunity to get involved. Troy has many organizations here on campus that just give you the opportunity to find your niche here, to find your home, to find your passion.
On campus or online, Troy offers you the hands-on experience you need to pursue an exciting career in communications and journalism. Troy University. It's all you need to know.
My name is Liz. I study broadcast journalism at Troy, and I am a Troy Trojan.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Christina Cook at the Global News Desk. Christina.
Thanks, Deatra. Someone opened fire on the Las Vegas Strip early this morning from a moving vehicle. The chaos caused a fiery multi-car accident and left 3 people dead. Police are searching for an SUV that raced from the scene. Edward Lawrence has a story from Las Vegas.
These are the smashed up remains after a deadly shooting on the Las Vegas Strip. Burned out vehicles littered the streets after police say a suspect in a black Range Rover opened fire at a stoplight. The apparent target was this Maserati. Bullet holes are visible in the windshield. The attack caused the sports car to smash into a taxi, which ignited a fireball.
The Maserati traveled through what we believe was a red light at a high rate of speed, striking several vehicles. One of those vehicles was a local cab that also caught on fire as a result of the impact.
The shooting happened right outside some of the most famous casinos on the Strip. Guests could see the chaos from their windows.
There was a loud boom, and then I heard 2 other booms, and I looked out my window up here in Caesar's Palace. I could see the fireball over here on the corner.
Things can happen anywhere. We were just happy that it was at the time it was. I would think that it wasn't that busy down on the Strip. Last night it was packed, and if something like that happened, you would think that there would have been a lot more carnage than there was.
The driver of the Maserati was killed, along with the taxi driver and the passenger in that cab. Police are searching for the Range Rover, which still had paper license plates. Investigators think the shooting may have followed an earlier confrontation at one of the hotels. They're checking out-of-state agencies in California, Arizona, and Utah in the search for leads. Edward Lawrence for CBS News, Las Vegas.
Next week, massive cuts across the board in federal spending are scheduled to kick in if lawmakers don't reach a last-minute budget compromise. The government has started telling workers at dozens of federal agencies their jobs could be affected. Danielle Nottingham reports from Washington.
President Obama made phone calls to Republican leaders in Congress, with time running out before massive spending cuts take effect. At every opportunity, he's been putting the burden on lawmakers to stop the automatic cuts that will impact nearly every government agency.
This is a problem that Congress can solve.
March 1st, more than $85 billion in cuts kick in. The Pentagon will take a $46 billion hit, but the cuts will also be felt outside Washington. If the Agriculture Department furloughs workers, expect fewer food safety inspections and higher food prices. If the Homeland Security Department tells screeners to stay home, airport security lines are expected to grow. National parks would have to cut more than $100 million. It could impact everything from operation hours to grass cutting, from the Grand Canyon to here at the National Mall. Tom Kiernan from the National Parks Conservation Association says the cuts will have a ripple effect.
The local communities are going to get hammered economically. I think it's devastating. It's for the parks. It's embarrassing as a country.
Former Republican Congressman Jim Nussle, who helped pass 4 balanced budgets, says Washington is doing this to itself.
All of this is kind of compounding. You know, about a month, every month, there's another crisis that's manufactured by the president and the Congress, and that's no way to run an operation.
Congress will return next week with just 4 days left to reach a compromise. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Washington.
A large and dangerous winter storm is plummeting the nation's midsection. Vanita Nair has the latest details from New York.
A massive winter storm is wreaking havoc across the Midwest. Heavy snow and strong winds shut down a 90-mile stretch of Interstate 70 in Kansas. Cars slid right off the road.
I just heard another call they're looking for a wrecker to pull somebody in, and they're talking 5-hour delay to get a wrecker.
Parts of the state are buried under more than a foot of snow. A wrestling team that was headed to a state tournament got stuck at their hotel in Hayes.
It's been extremely boring. There's almost nothing to do.
There were nearly whiteout conditions in Kansas City. The airport and state offices were shut down. People were urged to stay off the roads, but that didn't stop drivers from braving the storm in Wichita. The massive storm barreled east from Colorado, where even SUVs were skidding out. That same system brought snow to Amarillo, Texas. Arkansas was coated in ice and sleet, causing power outages. A car in Springfield, Missouri flipped in the icy conditions. Thunder and lightning were also reported in the state. Tow truck drivers had a busy day in Wagner County, Oklahoma.
I've got 3 or 4 waiting on me right now.
Despite the headaches for commuters, the precipitation is being welcomed in the Midwest. The region has been going through a severe drought. Vanita Nair, CBS News.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune into Trojan Vision Global News right here after the nightly news. Now, back to you, Deatra.
Thanks, Christina. And now Justin McNally joins us with sports. So, Justin, the women's basketball team did have a game last night. However, they did not get the outcome they were hoping for.
That's right. The women's basketball team was hoping to win 2 straight games for the first time this season, but just came up just a little bit short. But I'll get to that and more here in sports. Trojan women's basketball team was looking to complete a sweep of the Raging Cajuns, but came up just a bit short Wednesday night. A poor first half led to a 63-59 loss for the Trojans and kept Troy from defeating the Raging Cajuns for the second time in less than 3 weeks. Troy trailed by 14 points at the break and by 20 early in the second half, but rallied to cut the lead to 5 with less than 12 minutes to go, but Troy could not grab the win. Joanna Harden led Troy with 25 points, including 19 in the second half. Harden scored 7 straight points to help get to the 5-point deficit. Sarah McApion posted a double-double for the Trojans with 15 points and 13 rebounds. The Trojans return to the floor on Saturday when they travel to take on Arkansas State at 3 o'clock. And after almost eclipsing the 500-win milestone, head men's basketball coach Don Maestri and the Trojan men's basketball team are literally on the road to 500 as they are heading to Lafayette to take on the Raging Cajuns later tonight. Led by Hunter Williams' 20.5 points per game over the past 2 games, the Trojans will be looking to sweep the season series from the Raging Cajuns. The Trojans defeated ULL just a couple of weeks ago in Trojan Arena by a score of 71-52. In that contest, the Trojans were led by Tevin Calhoun, who finished the game with 15 points, and Ray Chambers added an additional 10 points as the Trojans coasted to their largest victory of the season. If the Trojans are to pick up this victory, it would be a huge accomplishment in the career of Coach Maestri. The Trojans and the Raging Cajuns are set to tip off at 7 o'clock, and we wish Coach Maestri the best of luck in his pursuit of win number 500. And the men's tennis team is also in action today as they head up north to take on in-state opponent Samford. The men are coming off 11 days rest and hope to improve on their 1-5 record so far this season. Despite the dismal record, Sammy Gorbel has been the bright spot for the Trojans so far. Gorbel is 5-1 in singles play this season, with his only loss coming in the first match of the season against number 42 ranked UNC Wilmington. The matches are currently going on as we speak, and we will have a full recap of those matches tomorrow on Trojan Vision Nightly News. And since the 2008 season, Sharon O'Mara has always been an assistant coach at for the Troy Trojan softball team. But as of today, O'Mara is now the associate head coach. O'Mara works primarily with the pitching staff and was a major player in the recruitment of Ashley Rainey and former player Ashlyn Williams. So far in this young season, the Trojans' ERA sits at 2.96 and opponents are batting just above 200. So Deatra, Christina, the women's basketball team, couldn't get the victory last night. Best of luck to them, this coming weekend with their game. And maybe the men's basketball team can get that win, and get Coach Maestri number 500, second time around. That would be a huge milestone for him.
Exactly. That would be great for him. And not only him, but also Troy University.
That's right. And even the players as well. I'm sure they want to be the ones out there that win it for them.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Justin.
Thanks, Justin. Still to come on Trojan Vision Nightly News, we'll hear more from the new SGA president.
But first, so far we've seen sunny skies and cool temperatures. Will that carry on throughout the rest of the week, Jamarlo?
Well, Deatra, it seems as if we're going into the weekend with a wet week. I have more coming up next in weather.
that's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet?
There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Plant inspiration. Provide youth with the creative tools and skills to cultivate it. And you'll be amazed at what can grow. Adobe Youth Voices and the Peapod Foundation. Learn more at plantandinspire.org.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Jamarlo Phillips joins us with weather.
So, Jamarlo, it seems like we had a pretty nice day. It was a little warm outside, unexpected temperatures for the month of February, but what can we expect for this weekend?
Well, for this weekend, we're definitely going to be experiencing some rain, and also for tonight as well. So I'll get into more of that right now. But first, let's just take a look at our campus snapshot. Taking a look across Bibb Graves Quad, we can see that the sun has began to set. But as we go into our current conditions, we can see that our skies are partly cloudy. Temperature coming in at 66 degrees, dew point at 33, humidity at 29%, barometer reading 29.95 inches and falling, with our winds coming from the south-southeast at about 9 miles per hour. Taking a look at today's stats. Today we're able to see a high of 68 degrees. Very, very warm than what we've been seeing the past few days. A low of 56 degrees. There was no rain in our area for today, but that may change as we go on throughout the day. Sun rose this morning at 6:19 a.m. and has set at 5:35 p.m. Taking a look at our temperatures from around the state, we can see that we're experiencing some very cool temperatures up north. Huntsville at 46 degrees, as well as Birmingham, Montgomery at 69 degrees, Mobile at 63 degrees, Phenix City at 66, and Dothan at 68 degrees. Going into our current temperatures across the southeast, we can see that in the Florida area, they're experiencing very, very warm temperatures in the Florida area. Miami is sitting at 78 degrees, as well as Tampa, Orlando at 80 degrees. But as we move northward into our area, we can see that we're still experiencing those low 60-degree temperatures. Going into our current temperatures across the United States, we can see that again. In our area, we're still experiencing those low 60 to mid 60-degree temperatures, but as we move westward, we can see that California area and eastward of California are experiencing those 30-degree temperatures. Going into our current surface map, we can see that we don't have too much going on right now, but we definitely need to be on the lookout for this rain right here, sitting down in the Louisiana area. Taking a closer look at that, we can see that the rain will be pushing into our area maybe in the next 48 hours. So if you are thinking about getting out tonight, make sure that you grab a jacket as you go out. Taking a look at our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours, we can see that we will be experiencing up to about 3 to 5 inches of rain. So again, definitely be on the lookout for that, especially if you are going out. It may not be safe to drive. Going into Friday's forecast, we will still be experiencing rain for tomorrow, maybe up to 1 inch or 2 inches of rain for tomorrow, but hopefully by Saturday the rain has moved out of our area. It will slowly move out, maybe 1 inch of rain on Saturday, a few showers. Going into Sunday's forecast, that rain will have moved out of our area, moving down into the southern portions of Louisiana and the northern portion of Florida. Going into Monday's forecast, Monday that rain will come back into our area. So for Monday, we will start the week off with a wet week. So definitely grab a jacket as you all get out and go to class. Take a look at tonight's forecast. Tonight we'll be seeing thunderstorms and a few storms, maybe even severe. 100% of precipitation, winds coming from the southeast at about 8 miles per hour with a low of 56 degrees. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast. Tomorrow we will also be seeing thunderstorms with a few clouds. Be on the lookout for that heavy rain. Winds coming from the south-southeast at about 7 miles per hour with a high of 70 degrees. Taking a look at our 4-day forecast. As we look at Friday we'll definitely be seeing a 100% chance of thunderstorms, the high of 70 degrees and a low of 56 degrees. Saturday we'll be seeing a chance of showers, a 70% chance of showers, that is, high of 66 degrees and a low of 42. As we go into Sunday, that rain will have moved out of our area, but as we go into Monday, Christina and Deatra, the rain would unfortunately come back into our area, so we definitely need to be on the lookout for that.
Well, that's very unfortunate, but we make sure we'll have our rain gear ready and prepared for us for the weekend. Thanks so much,
Right.
Jamarlo.
Thank you.
Thank you.